I just pulled my U-Haul into the cul-de-sac of Willow Creek, a sleepy suburb outside Portland, Oregon, on a humid August afternoon in 2024 when I met my match. Her name was Linda, the self-appointed guardian of neighborhood perfection. She stood in the middle of the street, arms crossed, oversized sunglasses flashing like warning beacons, one foot planted like she was staking claim to the asphalt. I wasn't speeding or blaring music. I was just trying to back my truck into my new driveway. But Linda had other ideas, her voice sharp enough to cut glass. "You can't park that eyesore here," she snapped. "It's ruining the aesthetic of my front yard view." Her yard was a good 60 feet away, hidden behind a wall of manicured azaleas. But reason clearly wasn't on speaking terms with her. I'd been in my new house for all of 10 minutes, still dripping sweat from across State Drive, and already I was facing the final boss of suburban gatekeepers. Leaning out my window, I flashed a grin, the kind you give a cashier when you're too tired to argue. "It'll take 20 minutes to unload, Linda. You'll live." She didn't budge. If anything, she stepped closer to my bumper, arms folding tighter, her pristine BMW parked diagonally in her driveway like it owned the block. This wasn't just a neighborly spat. Linda was the HOA's reigning queen, armed with bylaws she probably recited in her sleep. I, however, had a secret she didn't see coming. Before moving to Willow Creek, I'd quietly bought into the HOA board, taking the president's seat after the last one quit over a scandal involving misused picnic funds. I didn't mention it, though. Not yet. I wanted to see how far she'd push. Linda stormed back to her BMW, yelling into her phone about a Code 7 violation. Oversized vehicle, potential hazard. Neighbors peeked through blinds. One guy across the street grabbed a soda and settled in like it was a matinee. I started unloading boxes, keeping my cool. You have to when you're about to outplay someone at their own game. 15 minutes later, a tow truck rolled up. Linda had called in the cavalry, convincing the driver she had HOA authority. The guy, half asleep and clutching a clipboard, started eyeing my U-Haul like it was a stolen car. I strolled over, calm as a summer breeze, and handed him a laminated permit signed by me, the HOA president, in crisp black ink. He muttered an apology and peeled out. Linda's face turned the color of her azaleas. "You forged that," she hissed. I smiled. "Actually, Linda, I'm the new HOA president." Surprise. Her jaw dropped, her phone slipping to the pavement with a crack. A small crowd had gathered, and someone clapped slowly, deliberately. Then I pointed to her BMW, parked at an angle that blocked the sidewalk. "Since the tow truck's here," I said, "there's a vehicle creating a pedestrian hazard." I had the complaints to back it up. 3 neighbors had reported her before I even moved in. The driver shrugged, hooked her car, and as it lifted into the air, Linda's expression went from rage to raw disbelief, like she'd seen the laws of suburbia rewritten. She didn't quit. By dawn, a neon green violation slip was taped to my door. Improper mailbox placement. My mailbox was 2 inches off regulation. I could picture her measuring it at midnight, headlamp on, grinning like a gremlin. I wasn't fazed. I'd spent years navigating corporate red tape. Paperwork was my playground. I submitted a compliance form, included a time-stamped photo of my adjusted mailbox, and thought that'd be it. But Linda doubled down, citing my single-lawn flamingo named Gus for unapproved decor. I moved Gus an inch closer to her property line daily, until he stood on my porch, staring her down. Then came her emails, long, sanctimonious rants about community standards, CC to the board. I replied with revised HOA agendas, adding decoration leniency for discussion. The real showdown came at the next meeting. Linda rallied her posse 6 women in matching khakis, clutching rulebooks like sacred texts. She launched into a speech about declining values, eyeing me like I was a graffiti artist. I waited, then clicked on a projector. A pie chart showed Linda filed 68% of the neighborhood's violations. Another slide showed her own yard-unkempt shrubs, a faded Easter bunny, statue never sighted. The room erupted in whispers, then laughter. "This is slander," she shrieked. I shook my head. "No, Linda. It's data." She didn't back off. She installed a security camera aimed at my driveway, its red light blinking like a taunt. Then my tires were slashed all four, clean cuts at 3 a.m. My truck's hidden camera caught it. A figure in a hoodie, Linda's unmistakable silhouette, her own camera conveniently off during the act. I didn't call the cops. I sent the footage to the HOA ethics board, requesting her suspension. The response was swift. An investigation launched, her privileges frozen. Linda panicked, hosting an emergency council on her lawn, complete with a wobbly podium and stale donuts. She passed a petition to oust me, but I held up stills from my footage. Vandalism, harassment, forged signatures, I said, revealing 7 fake names on her petition, including a deceased resident. The crowd turned. Linda stammered about raccoons. No one bought it. Her final move was desperate. A city inspection, claiming I'd built an unpermitted shed. I didn't own a shed. The photos she submitted were from another street. The inspectors left empty-handed, and her complaint was flagged as false. I called my friend Sarah, a journalist, and we released a documentary, The Linda Files, When HOAs Turn Toxic. It aired on local TV, went viral in community groups, and exposed Linda's reign of petty terror. Her city council campaign built on preserving values crumbled. Incomplete financial disclosures, a resigned treasurer, and withdrawn donors sealed her fate. On election night, she lost spectacularly, pulling 8% of the vote. Her house went dark, her BMW vanished, and she moved out quietly, leaving a bitter online review about neighborhood corruption. Gus the Flamingo still guards my porch, a silent salute to victory. But here's where it gets messy. Was I too harsh, turning her tactics against her? Should I have let her slide after the first clash? And what about the neighbors who cheered me on but stayed silent during her reign? Drop your thoughts below. Did I fight fire with fire, or did I become the new HOA tyrant? Like, comment, and subscribe for more stories where suburban drama meets justice.